Welcome back to episode 11 of the Player's Perspective podcast. Just gonna be me tonight. Another solo one. I'll make it a quick one. Uh, Not too much to talk about here, but yeah, the Ducks picking up a big 6-5 victory and a comeback victory at that. Which seems to be a trend of the Ducks lately. They've been really good at coming back and being resilient the past about maybe 12 games that they've played. So yeah, especially after seeing the game against the Carolina Hurricanes where they were just not even skating, not even seemed like they didn't have any effort going into their play. It was good to see today that they were moving the puck well. They were flying. They yeah, just overall great game. I know the score was 6-5, but some of the goals I wouldn't really say were like really bad goals. Just more of just good shots and good. It was just an overall good game in my opinion. But the Ducks had couple guys that stood out a lot, and one of them, of course, being Andre Kasha. He had a fantastic game. It seemed like he was always around the puck. Always the puck was finding him. The puck was just on his stick all the time, and every time he had the puck, he looked like he was going to do something with it, which was good to see. He had a 3-point night, which is also good to see. And I'm not sure on the exact stats, but I was thinking about it earlier, and it seems like, for the most part, whenever Kasha has a very good game, a really successful game, Ducks are probably going to win. So that just shows how important Andre Kasha is to the Anaheim Ducks. And yeah, I just want to bring up here, no EASHL tonight. We're going with some zombies, which is basically my other favorite game besides. Ooh, I didn't mean to. But my other favorite game besides NHL. But yeah, and as you can see, Brett is actually in the game with me, but he had a lot of stuff to do today, and he's feeling kind of tired, which is all good. So we let him have the day off. He's doing a lot of homework. He did homework for 6 hours, he said. So that just sounds really rough. So I don't blame him for not joining in today. It's all good. He did watch the game though, and we were talking a lot back and forth during the game. So and it's always a little funny story. It's always really funny to me because he watches a stream because he doesn't have actual TV provider because he's going to college up in San Diego. So he's always behind. So whenever something happens, sometimes I do it on purpose. Sometimes I'm just kind of not thinking. I'm just really excited. But I always tell him what's gonna happen before it actually happens, and I don't know if he actually gets mad or not, but it's kind of funny. And yeah, those are really bad down there. I promise you, I'm good at zombies. I promise you. That was just a fluky down. I don't think I've ever streamed and did this podcast. Yeah, I haven't. I haven't streamed and did this podcast while playing zombies, so it's kind of throwing me off. But the start of the game, first period, was seemed like it was gonna be a kind of a weird start. The Devils got that early goal by Kyle Palmieri, and it was kind of like, ooh boy, is this gonna be just a bad start? And it was an unlucky bounce. So I mean, I was like, you can't. There was nothing really that you could do there. But luckily, the Ducks were able to bounce back by actually scoring 2 goals a little bit later in I think 45 or 55 seconds. One by Jakob Silverberg and one by Kiefer Sherwood, who, as you know, we love here on PPP. But yeah, it was and then after that it just ended up being back and forth, back and forth. The Devils got up, won, Ducks would tie it. Devils got up, Ducks would tie it, and the Ducks really they really have turned into that team again where it seems like as long as they get to the third period, maybe down by 1 or tied, they can work their magic in the third period, which obviously isn't ideal, but as long as you're winning games, I think that's all that matters. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's just having a rough showing here with this game. But yeah, and also I want to bring up another player who had a really good game was Brandon Montour, and it seems like ever since Cam Fowler has been out of the lineup, Brandon Montour has just been on fire. He has stepped up his game so much, and it's really good to see. And there's a lot of when you talk about trade talks, he is one of the names that comes into the conversation, which you hate to see because he's a really good player and he's actually a fan favorite player. But we're getting somebody pretty good back, or really good back, then no problem with it. Also, a lot of people want Josh Manson, and I think I'd rather give up Brandon Montour than Josh Manson. But I don't know. This year, Manson's kind of hasn't really been playing that great. He's not playing as good as he did last year, I should say. He was fantastic last year. And I don't know, maybe it's because he's not playing with Hampus Lindholm. That might be what it is. But, yeah, I don't know what's going on with Manson. He just hasn't played very well this season, in my opinion. He's not terrible or he's not bad. He's just been okay. But yeah, that pairing of Lindholm and Montour, though. And I guess, maybe it is not playing with Lindholm. Because, Lindholm makes everyone better, He makes everyone around him better, whoever he plays with. So, it was good to see Montour paired with him. It seems like the Ducks are every single D pairing they have is like 1 2-way defenseman and 1 defensive defenseman. So one of the pairs would be the third pair, Gachin and Mahura. Gachin, more of a defensive defenseman, whereas Mahura, he could play both sides and do it well. The other pairing of, like I said, Lindholm and Montour. Also another pairing where you got Hampus as the defensive defenseman, and then Montour, who could play both sides. And then yeah, Josh Manson with Jacob Larson. Josh Manson, more of a 2-way defenseman. And then Jacob Larson, more of a defensive defenseman. So, but Fowler, I read, should be good to go about mid-January, I think I saw. So, and also some good news on the injury front with Corey Perry. His timetable suggested that he was going to return on March 1st, no later than March 1st. That was the estimated time. But according to general manager Bob Murray, who just signed a 2-year contract extension to be with the Anaheim Ducks through the 2021 season, or sorry, the 21-22 season, he has said that Perry has progressed much faster than they thought. So I don't know, on whoever's opinion, if that's a good thing, that's a bad thing. Obviously, Corey Perry is my favorite player, but there's the thing, don't rush, don't rush. I don't want you to be rushed and get injured again, or something like that. I don't want that to happen. And I saw a point on Twitter. I saw people bringing up, maybe he should just sit out the year. And as much as I hate to say it, because I want to see my favorite player playing, obviously, I don't think that's that bad of an idea. But it depends. If the Ducks are playing really well, they're in the playoff spot, there's not really a point of having him in, unless you want him just for playoffs, which I can totally understand. But yeah, if the Ducks are doing well, it would be like, oh, why do you need to put him in? They're doing well without him. And then there's also the side of, if the Ducks are not doing well and they're not in the playoffs and they're not gonna make the playoffs, it's kind of like, why does he need to go in? Like, he's not gonna, like, it doesn't matter. They're not doing anything. So yeah, it all depends. I'm fine with either one, but obviously for me, I just want him to come back stronger and be the Corey Perry that we all know and love. That can have 30 goal seasons, not a guy that gets 19 goals, has a good amount of assists since he hasn't been scoring as many goals, but still just add that much more depth to the Ducks lineup. But yeah, some other news, as I mentioned earlier, Bob Murray signing a contract extension. That's huge because, Bob Murray's a huge part of this organization and this team. And you can't say that he's been unsuccessful. I guess he hasn't won a Stanley Cup. I guess if you want to use that, you can use that. But, there's nothing really that says that he's unsuccessful. He's a great GM, knows how to draft, and he knows how to build a team. And I think that him signing that deal is more so he wants to see how his team, progresses as Seattle comes into the fray. Especially he went through the Vegas one. He's been there before. Like, he knows what to expect. He knows, and so I would assume if the Ducks were successful still, he does well as a GM, which I would assume he would. I would assume they'd assign him to another contract after that 2-year deal. I feel like this is more of a bridge deal, and it's more to see what can he do to, for the team in the next couple years, and hopefully that includes winning a Stanley Cup. So, but yeah, the back to the game. Actually, I don't really have much to say about the game anymore. The overtime was really exciting. I know what I'm forgetting. Silly me. I'm forgetting that Ryan Miller, who actually started the game tonight, got pulled and was replaced by John Gibson in the middle of the game because Taylor Hall and Josh Mora slid into him on a play in the third period, and that caused Miller to what looked like to injure his knee. We're not entirely sure, but he was not able to return to the game, and Gibby took his spot. And luckily, Gibby was ready, and it showed. And right away, he had to make a gorgeous stop on a tipped puck, a high tipped puck, where his reactionary time just had to be superb to get it, and he did. I thought the Ducks were just going to win in regulation, but they gave a goal within the last about minute, I think it was. And New Jersey was able to force overtime, but you can't really fault Gibby for that goal anyway. So, but yeah, Gibby could have realistically got a shutout and won a game by just playing some of the third period, which would have been kind of cool to see. But unfortunately, that was not the case. But yeah, and then a really exciting overtime, really big overtime, and the Ducks went to a shootout. And starting off was Pontus Aberg, who, as we know, in the last shootout the Ducks had, which was actually on November 12th against the Nashville Predators, his old team, who placed him on waivers, he scored on Pecorine, and he went for another go again this game, but he was stopped by the right pad of Schneider. He kind of he went 5-hole on Pecorine last time, and I thought that's what he was trying to do, but he did have the same approach, but instead of going 5-hole, he tried to get him moving and just slide it back the other way, but it didn't work. And then next for Kyle Palmieri, who had a big game for the Devils, had scored 2 goals and had a lot of chances to get a hat trick, but he did not, thankfully. Yeah, really, really good player. You know, Kyle Palmieri. He was with the Ducks before, and you know he's a really good player. He's a goal scorer, and he comes in and he misses. And then the next Duck shooter was Daniel Sprong, newly acquired Daniel Sprong from the Pittsburgh Penguins in exchange for Marcus Pettersson. And let me tell you, he put the moves on Schneider. It was a great goal by Daniel Sprong. He did a little bit of a pump fake, a leg kick, fake shot to free Schneider. Schneider went down, and he ended up going forehand, backhand, and just slid it in, and it was great. And so next up, the second Devil shooter was Taylor Hall, and we all know how good that guy is. He's the reigning Hart Trophy winner, 93 points last year for the Devils. And he came in with lots of speed, and he just straight up came in and just shot the puck at Gibby, and he beat Gibby, but for Gibby's sake, it banged right off the post. And then, so that was up to the captain, Ryan Getzlaf, to finish it in the shootout. And shockingly, JK, that's sarcasm if you can't catch on there. He scored. He did the same move that he loves to do. Pump fake with a little leg kick and just roof it upstairs glove side. I already knew what he was doing before the second he got the puck. Before when he was going out to shoot, I already knew what was going on. So and then yeah, Gibby. So great game for Gibby. Good game for. Ooh, I'm in some trouble here. Let me. Real quick. Okay, there we go. I got him. But yeah, where was I at? Great shot by Getzlaf. He actually has a really good. He's a little bit over 1 for 3 actually. He used 26 for 75 and that just made him 27 for 76. So pretty good shootout shooter. And yeah, he was able to lead the Ducks to a great comeback victory. Really exciting game. I wish I was there to see it live in person, but I was not. And I'm here with you guys doing a podcast for you guys. But yeah, that's I think that's all. I think that's all I have here today. But yeah, I think that's all I have here for this podcast. I said it would be just a little quick one, about 20 minutes, just to go over a recap of the game. Don't really go too in depth. Maybe we'll do that when I get the boys in here. But yeah, thank you for joining me here on the Players Perspective podcast, episode 11. I forgot to mention we're in the double digits now. Actually I might have mentioned that. I'm not sure, but double digits now. And yeah, for the few people that actually listen to this, thank you very much. It means a lot to not only me but Brett and Derek too, and it's really cool that we get to do this. So once again, thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you and goodbye.